Hello, everyone. Turn the light on. Let's see if this helps. Kind of. Not really. I need a ring light over here. Hey, guys. Oh, sorry. There's 3 people. Hi, guys. What time is it where you're at? I am always so neglectful of the time for it. My phone told me that I'm live. That's funny. Anywho, so I just went live on my Instagram for 2 whole hours. I was supposed to go live yesterday on my Instagram, but I was on a panel. So my friend invited me to be on a panel with 3 other entrepreneurs, and then I had like date night with my husband. So I didn't go live, so I made up for my live today, and I'll plan on going live today anyway. So I just did 2 hours straight of being live on Instagram, and now here I am on YouTube. So hey, hi everybody. Hi, Keontae, Annette, Bad China Barbie, Trina, Shantoria. I'm 29, Keontae. I wish I had the courage to go live. I did not used to have the courage to go live. I think the more I did my YouTube videos, I became more confident in going live. But yeah, so it takes time. 8:55, St. Louis. Oh, you're in St. Louis too? Hey, girl. Me too. Hey, girl, hey. We're almost kind of neighbors. Hello from the Cayman Islands. Hi. Hello. We got Cayman Islands, Miami, Arizona. Oh, Michelle's from Missouri. Hey, girl, hey. Really love what you do. Your videos have helped me a lot. Thank you so much. Cali, NY, Louisiana, Texas. Hey. That's so funny. You guys from everywhere. So I don't really have anything to talk about in general. I just was on live for 2 hours and answered everybody's questions, which is basically what I always do anyway. So I just want to answer everybody's questions again. I'm taking a picture of where everybody's from, so I can post it on my stories. If you're not following me on Instagram, come follow me on Instagram. I go live on there way more often than I do on here. I want to start going live more on here. Just because, what's it called? Google will show these videos on Google. They won't show videos from Instagram on Google. So come follow me on Instagram though, if you're not already. Let's see. From the DMV. Hey, girl, hey. I heard you mention shopkeeper. Are you considering them? Shopkeeper. Oh, so at my previous job, at my last job, when I first started there, they were using, so I used to be store manager at a thrift store part boutique. And when I first started, they were using shopkeep or shopkeeper. I don't know if it's shopkeeper or shopkeeper. Anyway, they were using that, and then maybe like 4 or 5 months into my position there, we switched to Square. So shopkeep is cool. Didn't necessarily have any product problems with it. It was a physical store, so we needed a POS system. So they were using Shopkeep when I first started. Then we transitioned to Square because they had a Square like location in St. Louis, and they were just, I think they gave us a better deal, honestly, and we could get like real-time support when we had issues. So we chose Shopkeep. Did you save the live on Instagram? Yeah, there is 2 whole hours worth of live saved on my Instagram right now, and a bunch of questions answered. I was like, oh my God, these questions are never going to end. It's crazy. The videos are amazing. Help me grow my business. Oh, thank you. That makes me so happy. A lady emailed me the other day. Well, I sent out an email to my email list about entrepreneurship and like how it feels to be an entrepreneur or full-time entrepreneur. And it was basically about like the struggles of being an entrepreneur, because it's hard, especially a full-time one, and especially one. So I didn't personally choose entrepreneurship per se. My job went out of business, and I just kind of had to make a decision, like, am I going back to work or am I not going back to work? So I decided I wasn't going to go back to work, and yeah, so things just kind of took off naturally. And but a lot of things changed very quickly in my life, and there were a lot of people in my life that did not understand what I was doing, why I was doing it, why I utilized my time the way I did. A lot of people were mad because I didn't spend as much time with them anymore, or like my focus had changed. They thought I changed. I mean, technically I did. But anyway, long story short, I wrote this email about like the truth about how entrepreneurship feels. And this lady emailed me back, and she said that she started her business in the 1980s. And I was like, oh, wow. And she was like, yeah, like back when entrepreneurship wasn't really like a thing. Like people didn't talk about entrepreneurship or like leaving their job to start their own jobs and stuff like that. But she was like, definitely, it was hard then, and it's still hard now. It doesn't get easier per se. It gets easier, but you're always going to have like the struggles of like how people feel about it, what people have to say, and all that. So anyway, I didn't get on here to ramble about entrepreneurship and my journey. My journey has been quite the journey. Do you like Shopify? Yes. So I just switched my website to Shopify in like the last month, maybe. So I switched my boutique to Shopify, and then I also built the Boutique Academy website on Shopify as well. And I love it thus far. When I first launched, I was using WordPress. And the only reason I used WordPress was because, one, I was familiar with it. I've been using WordPress since about 2009. And also, I just enjoyed like the design flexibility that WordPress offered versus Shopify, not very flexible in design capability. They give you those free things, all of which aren't very fancy or cute. They have paid ones that are like $180, which is ridiculous. So I just broke down and bought a theme. So I bought a Shopify theme that gave me more flexibility in my design, and now I love it. I have no complaints thus far. So is everybody in business currently? Or is anybody thinking about starting a boutique or is launching soon? Where's everybody at in their business? Let me know in the comments. Michelle says, yes, it's hard, but so worth it. Definitely. I definitely feel like I am living in my purpose. I never had intentions of working for myself. I'm one of those rare people who I went to college, I got a degree, and I was more than happy to go work for somebody else and work my way up the ladder and, make a nice salary and all that. I was cool. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep a good job. And then my last job went out of business. My job before that also went out of business. And I was like, okay, like God must be telling me like I ain't supposed to work. So I guess. So I decided to not go back to work and try it on my own. And it has been awesome thus far. Hard, but awesome. I'm very interested, but so lost right now. What are you lost about? Let us know. Let's work through it together. I'm in the beginning and the struggle is real. The beginning is a struggle. The whole thing is a struggle. I'm not going to lie to you, but there are a lot of parts of it that get easier over time. Definitely. But business is always an up and down. I have really happy days and I have some really crappy days. I'm considering starting a boutique, but so afraid to fail. Everybody's afraid to fail. So the panel I sat on yesterday, it was myself and 3 other entrepreneurs. So myself and Daisha. Some of you guys might be familiar with Daisha. She has a Facebook group on Facebook called The Broke Black Girl. and she does like budgeting and things like that. But she just, I think, just had her 1 year anniversary of being self-employed. And there was Corey, who just recently quit his job to take on his business full time. And Bryce, who has, I want to say he's been in business for himself for like 15 years. But we all had the same sentiment. We were all fearful. We still have our fears every single day. But we just, for me, myself, I remember why I'm doing it. So like one of the questions they asked was like, how do you measure success? So I think that's something very important for you to analyze in life in general, but especially in business, because if you can determine what success looks like for you, then you're less likely to be as fearful as you go along the process. So like for me, for instance, success is not necessarily the money aspect of it. It's the impact that I make, or the people that I affect, or the like being purposeful, being passionate, and being able to basically make someone else happy. So as long as I am doing that, like when people send me emails or DMs, or like you guys commenting to tell me like that I helped you in some way, that makes me feel amazing. I'm like, oh, this is success. Like I'm doing something great. So yes, I need to pay my bills. I know that for sure. But if you can determine what success looks like for you, then it's a lot easier to get out of the fear and know what to work towards. Like a lot of people just enter it with the money on the mind, which is what we're all, as business people, definitely want to make money, but that can't be your sole reason for doing it. You're going to always end up disappointed if money is the only thing that you're worried about as a business owner. Thinking about starting a business soon, really just tired of working for others. Definitely feel ya. Definitely. So like I didn't like working for people, but I always, so I feel like I talked about this in maybe one of my very first videos, but I've had so many jobs, but I always worked in retail. I knew I wanted to work in fashion. My degree is in PR. My degree is in speech communication with a specialization in public relations, and I have a minor in journalism. So I've always been into fashion. When I first started blogging, I wrote about fashion. I've always had a job in retail for as long as I was old enough to work. So I was consistent in the types of jobs that I had, but I also did not stay stagnant in any job. So I think I've had probably 21 jobs in the course of 29 years of life. And I'm not ashamed of that at all, because I went into every job with intention. Even as a 17-year-old, I was intentional. So my very first job was at Forever 21. I knew that Forever 21 was like hell. Like I shopped there all the time. It got dirty on the weekends. It was always busy. The people that worked there looked miserable, and we were. But I knew that the type of business that they were doing in that establishment was going to be so beneficial to me. And I literally tell people to this day that one job, my very first job at Forever 21, prepared me for every retail job that I had after that. So at 17, I was just a sales associate. I rang people out. I helped them in and out the fitting rooms. I was folding things all day and all that, but it helped me in so many ways. I gained a huge level of patience. I learned how to communicate with people of all walks of life, all ages, all races, all of that. I gained skills such as how to provide customer service, how to work a cash register, answering phones, visual merchandising, like all types of things. And so once I felt like I had gained enough knowledge in that job, I moved on to the next one. I didn't care how much money they were paying me. I was moving on to the next greater thing. And I can't remember what my job was after that. I do know when I was working at Forever 21, I was also working part-time at Abercrombie and Fitch. Then I went to college. So yeah, I worked there up until college. Once I got to college, I worked at Wet Seal and Hollister at the same time. They were right next door to each other. They were serving two very totally different audiences. So Wet Seal was more on like the trendy side of things. Hollister was more like your preppy, beachy situation. Again, just like Forever 21, still learning still servicing people, but I was working with a different level of customer. My managers were different. Obviously, they all taught me something different. And long story short, I worked my way up to companies like DKNY, then Michael Kors, Saks Fifth Avenue. And that's a totally different ball game. I've managed stores. People have given me keys to stores that I probably should not have had the keys to. I've counted so much money, more money than I've ever had in my bank account in my life. I've generated more money than I've ever made in my life. I just posted a picture of one of the sales results from one of my jobs earlier today. I went through a bunch of paper in my room, in my office today, and cleaned up. I don't know where it is. It was on the floor earlier. But anyway, I posted a picture of some of my sales results from one of my jobs, and I had the second highest sales in my company, or in my job, under my store manager, which was like $75,000 that I generated for that store in the course of 3 months, I think it was. So long story short, I never got stuck in any job. I took every job as an opportunity to learn something new, to grow. Once I learned what I felt like I needed to know, I was on to the next one. So I feel like a lot of people, like, they get stuck in jobs and they're miserable. Like, I was miserable at all the jobs, but I also had like a point where I was like, okay, I'm done. Let me move on to the next one. Cool. We're done here. Thank you for the opportunity. And I didn't regret it because I knew I was doing this for my future. I wasn't doing it for someone else. So, I'm getting off on tangents today. I did this on Instagram Live too. Dang, I forgot what question where I was at. Let's see. Michelle, you're so amazing, smart, energetic, and big. Oh, thank you. It's so funny. People think I'm outgoing. I'm really not. I think I'm a super introvert. But when I'm on live, I like turn into this other person. It's crazy. I keep to myself so much. It's insane. I have a little store in Poshmark, but I've been slacking because I don't know how to market myself. Well, we got to work on that. Before I had a boutique, when I was still working, like I said, I've worked in retail for forever, so I have tons of clothes. So I definitely have a Poshmark. I haven't used it in a while, but I loved my Poshmark. I was selling, especially when I worked at Michael Kors. I actually got fired. So short story time. I used to work at Michael Kors, and I got fired from Michael Kors because I was buying so many bags, like I don't even know how often. It was super often. And I was selling them. I would wear them for as long as I liked them, and then I would sell them. And apparently they got somebody that's watching all the employees online. I don't know. But the man found me and was like, you can't sell these bags. And they fired me. You helped me a lot. Thank you. Yes, I got approved through the state today. Congratulations. Just figuring out getting supplies and all. Just scared using my name before trademarking it. Any advice? So I don't have my business. I don't have my boutique trademark. I have the Boutique Academy trademark. So I went on a hunt basically to see if there were any other businesses out there that were using the name. So like there are companies called like the Boutique Training Academy, the Boutique something Academy, all that. So there were all these other names out there that were very similar, but none of them had the trademark. So I was like, okay, I need to trademark this before somebody else does. So I would recommend looking to see if there are any other businesses out there that have the same name or a similar one or something that includes that name. Maybe look to see how long they've used it or how long they've been in business, and use that to gauge, like, you know, the seriousness of it. So like if it's somebody who maybe has been in business for, who's been in business for, you know, a short amount of time, less than a year, things like that. I wouldn't say you should be too worried about trademarking it. But if there are businesses out there that have been in business for quite some time and have been using that name for some time, you never know. Like they could trademark it tomorrow because they, you know, generated the money and generated credibility and all of that. So they could be working on a trademark as you speak. So I I would say research the name and see if it's a popular situation. And if it is, you probably want to go ahead and trademark it. Come on with the gem, sis. Thank you, as you are awesome. Your videos help me so much. I'm open and keep revising. My website gets easier as you go. Social media is my hardest section. Definitely gets easier as you go. I am one of those people who changes things often, and I think you guys should as well. So, like for instance, my website, I try to rearrange the products as often as I can. If I'm running a sale or something like that, I change the banner at the top of my website, or make it one of those scrolling situations. I update my product descriptions if I feel like the one I wrote initially isn't resonating or catching anybody's attention. So you definitely want to revise things as you go. Social media is an ever-changing situation. And they all work differently, and people utilize them differently. So social media can be a hard situation. I always say, like, you got to move with intention, especially on social media. Like, know what your set goals for yourself. So like some people are just like, I just want to make sales. Like, I don't care about anything. I just want people to buy. So like, for me personally, my goal is to make money, but like, how can I word it? So like my followers or gaining followers isn't of the greatest importance to me on social media, because I know that the people that currently follow me are people who will buy from me consistently. As long as I am consistently providing something of value to them, I'm communicating with them and engaging with them, interacting. We're sending DMs, I'm commenting back, all that. Like, I could care less if there are new people coming in, because there's a saying that says it's cheaper to retain a current customer than to acquire a new one. So I'd rather just cultivate those relationships with people who I know like what I have to offer and who will actually spend their money with me than waste my time and energy trying to look for people who might maybe purchase from me. So I think you have to kind of like have goals for how you're going to utilize your social media, or what's important to you on your social media. Like, a lot of people are very hung up on followers. I mean, yes, you want to gain some followers, but you also want to make sure you're gaining the right followers, because it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 followers if only 10 of them are actual people who have or would purchase from you. So I would recommend setting some goals for your social media. Getting the boutique back up, or getting the boutique up and running. I have my DBA and tax permit. That's as far as I've gotten. Well, that's further than a lot of people. So congrats. Oh, snaps. I went too far up. Let's see. So true. Success looks different to different people. Exactly. I want to launch in November, but I'm trying to figure out who my customer base will be. I feel so lost. Let's talk through it. Let us know who you think your customer is. Let us know some details about who you think your customer is. Good evening. I've literally been binge watching your videos. I will be launching within the next 2 weeks. I'm so excited. Congratulations. Where are you based at? I also am trying to figure out how I can build relationships with the vendors. So building relationships with vendors is a lot easier in person than it is online, especially when you're ordering through like a platform like Fashion Go, because they have, hundreds and thousands maybe of orders coming in every week. So it's a lot easier to build a relationship with them when you have met them in person, whether that be in a fashion district or a trade show. I feel like it would be easier if you communicate with them via email versus like, through Fashion Go, where you can send a message and things like that. So like if you have questions about something, communicating through email, you can always ask if there is a specific, a specific salesperson that you can talk to, or that they can reference you to, things like that. Oh, my husband's calling. Hey, husband. I'm on YouTube Live. Huh? What are you doing? Okay, I won't be on here long. I've been on here for like 25 minutes. Okay. Love you too. Oops, sorry. I usually tell him when I'm going live so he doesn't call me. I forgot. That's because I didn't intend to be on live for 11 hours today. Darn it. Which question was I on? Let's see. Relationships with vendors. So you can always ask them if there's a specific person that they can connect you with in the sales department, or if a specific person responds to your email, try to maintain the communication with that one person versus communicating with various people over time. Sometimes I'll send an email to place an order versus placing it through their website and stuff like that. But that's usually with, excuse me, oh my God, I've been burping all day. That's usually with a company that I've ordered with before. So like, for instance, with High Five, I order from them all the time. So sometimes I'll just send them an email, or like the person that I work with at Magic or in the fashion district, I'll just send that person an email and say, hey, I want to reorder whatever, and they'll do it. Or like through WhatsApp. Speaking of WhatsApp, I need to check that because I got a bunch of notifications from one of the vendors. But I'll place an order through WhatsApp instead of like doing it through Fashion Go or their website. I'll just say, hey, do you have any more of this? Or I saw you have this on your website. Do you still have it in stock? I'd like to place an order. So I do that a lot. What's this lady's name? She sends me messages all the time. I think her name's Marisol. Maricela is her name. Maricela sends me pictures, videos. She will video chat me to show me things, all types of like that. You literally can gain a relationship with these people. She literally will be taking something out of the box for the first time and video chat me like, hey, my friend, this is literally, hey, my friend, we got this in stock today. Would you like? It's 1950. And I'm like, no, Maricela. But you really can get super close to these vendors. It's just a matter of communicating and finding the best way to communicate with them, honestly. I love your videos, and I have learned so much from you. You really inspire me. Thank you, Annette. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, just made my first order today. I was coming to watch a video of how you price items and things, and you just happened to be on live. What a coincidence. Hey, girl, hey. Any advice for low-cost shop platform to start with? So my Shopify costs $29 a month. With WordPress, with WordPress, my website was built on WordPress, but my hosting was through Bluehost. So Bluehost cost me $89 for the whole year. So I had to pay the fee annual, or I had to pay an annual fee. I didn't pay monthly. So none of them are like too off from one another. What's 89 divided by 12? I'm not the best math person, so 89 divided by 12 is, that's $7.41 a month. But I think it's more so about what platform is going to work best for you. So I would say think about what type of capabilities you want your platform to have. So like, for instance, Shopify, if you're going to use a free theme, it's not going to give you the most design capability, but it's going to give you the most e-commerce capability, versus with WooCommerce, which is built through WordPress. You get more design capability, but you kind of have to build the website up to be what you want it to be as far as like the e-commerce capability. You have to like add plugins and things like that to give it the capability that you want in certain aspects. I just launched this past Thursday. Congratulations. And I'm still nervous about it. I'm still nervous about my business almost a year later. I'm sitting here working on my first orders. Oh, look. No, if you got first orders, then you good. I've been in corporate retail for over 25 years. I'm hoping I've learned something. I'm sure you have. I utilize my corporate retail skills on a daily basis. Even with like YouTube and like my consulting and everything, like I never imagined that I was learning as much as I had working in retail. So you'll be fine. I promise you. I'm not a worker either. My true calling is to be a boss. Amen. We're all bosses here. Everybody. All of us. When is the right time to trademark your business name? As soon as possible. If you can afford to do it, I say go for it. Do it right then and there. Like I haven't trademarked my boutique as of yet. And I keep saying this. One, I don't love my logo. Not that you have to trademark your logo, but you can. But two, I love my name, but I'm not like so in love with it that like if somebody trademarked it, I would be disappointed that I had to change it. So I would say if you love your name, if there are lots of other people who are utilizing that name and you don't want them to be utilizing the name, trademark it. Do it as soon as possible. I believe that's the entrepreneur spirit for sure. Starting online boutique 926. Can we talk about marketing? Yeah, what do you want to know about marketing? Let me know. Different ways to market, and every way doesn't work for every person. Do you get any of your products through a manufacturer that personalizes your products with a logo, etc.? Nope. I mean, some of the vendors that I work with are manufacturers, but they don't personalize them in any way. Any advice on business credit? I don't have any business credit. Well, I haven't worked on building business credit. All of my business is ran through 100% cash at the current moment. I've been thinking about getting a business credit card, but I don't know. I've been doing well with my cash situation. I'm trying to stay consistent with posting on Instagram and other social media. What are some things I did to post that won't spam your page besides posting pictures of products? Quotes are always a good thing. Features of other people are always a good thing. Videos. So videos will always perform better than photos. I just did I do a video about that? I did a video about Pinterest, but I don't know if I talked about, I think I did. So I did a video about Pinterest, and I use Pinterest to find basically things to post. So lots of quotes I find on Pinterest. As far as like features, when I say features, I mean like other people. So I literally will search a hashtag that I frequently use, or like a hashtag that I think is in relation to my target audience. And I will search through those hashtags to find a person that I feel exudes the type of style that my business has. And then I share their photo, but I tag them. I'm like, so-and-so looks great in her, whatever she's wearing. We love her style, blah, blah, blah. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to be flattered. They're not going to be upset that you reshared their posts. More than likely, when people use hashtags on a post, it's because they want it to be found by other people. So you can always share quotes, always feature other people, always share some videos if possible. Advice on getting business loans or grants, please. I have no advice on that. I've never taken out a business loan. I've never taken out a grant of any sort. I started it all on cash. Also, what's a good size for retail space, and should we make sure it's ready to go so we won't have to spend more to add things to the space? You could definitely add things over time. So I don't have a recommendation for the amount of space that you should have. I would say it's more dependent on the amount of merchandise that you're going to sell, and what type of other things you're going to include in the space. So like the types of racks that you're going to have. You're going to have tables, what your, I don't know if that's called, like the counter where you do the checking out. I forget what that's called, but basically like thinking about how big that's going to be and things like that. So I don't think there's a right or wrong size. It's more dependent on how you want your store to be set up and the types of racks you're going to have and the amount of merchandise you plan to sell. But as far as what it looks like when you launch, definitely doesn't have to be like ready to go. You're definitely going to change things over time. Like for instance, at my last job that I managed, I had pretty much free range of what I wanted the place to look like. So I literally had the walls painted one random day. I had like these wooden backdrop situations built into our windows so I can make window displays. We redesigned an entire side of the store and added different wall pieces that you could hang merchandise from, all types of things. We bought new racks. We got new mannequins over time, all types of things. So everything's going to change over time. You're going to love something when you start, and then 5 months later, you're going to hate it and you're going to want something new. It's just how things work. So I would recommend doing things gradually and not necessarily trying to make it like a full out situation when you first launch. Oop. I started my boutique in June on Poshmark and have not sold one thing. I'm stuck and don't know what to do. Well, Poshmark is I've never used Poshmark for my boutique. I've only used Poshmark to sell used things. So I know they have like the boutique aspect to the business currently. I don't necessarily know how well that's working for their platform. But I feel like the majority of people that go on to Poshmark go on it looking for a great deal on something that they love that's more than likely used. I don't feel like a lot of people go on there looking for brand new merchandise that's probably going to cost them a nice amount of money. And I haven't used Poshmark in a while, but I feel like you would have to price your boutique merchandise up pretty significantly because Poshmark takes a cut of it. Do they not? So the pricing of things on as far as boutique merchandise on Poshmark could be a huge deterrent from people buying things. I be squinting and I have on contacts, y'all. It's so funny. Thank you so much. I definitely got a name not being used and can't foresee someone using. So thank you. I feel good then. Definitely look into trademark it. Yes, go for it. If you need somebody to trademark it, I got my business trademarked by, her name's Kiana. She's a trademark lawyer. Kiana, I want to say her name is Kiana the lawyer on Instagram. Oh, her website is trademarkmystuff.com. Spell stuff wrong. I feel like once you put the name out there, then it's important to trademark it to protect it. Yep. Especially if it's something catchy. I'm from Jamaica. Just want to thank God for you. Oh, thank you. My goal is to have my online boutique. You give good guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have videos on vendors. Can we get a list? I live in NYC, by the way. You're so motivating. Thank you for taking the time to help us. I have quite a few videos that have vendors listed in it. But finding vendors is more so dependent on the style of your boutique. So, I mean, I have lists of vendors that I have sold that are on my website. But again, nobody can provide you a list that's going to be 100%. Is going to 100% satisfy the style of your boutique. So that's a hard one. But to answer your question, I have like probably 4 or 5 videos where I've actually like mentioned vendors. I've tried on items from different vendors and talked through like the quality, the pricing and everything. So just scroll through my videos. I'm pretty sure the title will say like my top 3 vendors or like a vendor try on or things like that. I'm so indecisive when it comes to my logo. Me too. So when I launched, I had a logo. I was like on the fence about it. I kind of liked it. I kind of didn't. But I didn't want that to be the one thing that held me back from launching. So I was like, okay, put the logo out there, Jance. You can change it at any time. So I just changed it maybe 2 months ago now. So I kept that one. I kind of hated it. So yeah, don't let that hold you up from if you haven't launched yet. Don't let that be the one thing that holds you up. What marketing strategy has been most beneficial for your online boutique? Word of mouth and sharing on my personal pages and asking people to share. So I feel like a lot of people share, but they don't ask people to share what they've shared. So when I post things on my personal social media, not really on my business. I should probably ask people to share on there too. But on my personal social media, I always ask everybody to share. And so like when I first launched, I did a promo video of me just like walking in like 5 or 6 of the pieces that I launched with. And there was like music in the background, and I'm just like, I think I sped it up a little bit, and I'm just walking. And I posted it, and I asked everybody to share. I was like, please share. Or like, I think I always say like, share if you care, or share with your girls, or share with somebody who might love these pieces or something like that. And people are more likely to do it if you ask them to. They don't necessarily like think to do it on their own. So word of mouth and asking people to share have been the most beneficial part of my marketing, honestly. So like that first video, I think in that first week, I got like 1.2 thousand views in that first week. And that was just from people sharing it. I'm not popular. So people ask me a lot. So when I'm in like Vegas and I meet people at Magic and all that, everybody always asks me like, was I popular before YouTube? Was I popular in high school? All that. No, I didn't play sports. I wasn't like on any teams. I wasn't in any like special groups. I wasn't in sorority. I was a normal chick who kept to herself. I have no friends. I have the same 3 friends that I've always had, but I've always been into fashion. I've always worked in retail, things like that. So when you produce good work, people support you, and we ask them to support you. They're more likely to do so. So that's worked for me. Do you report in your state to Department of Labor? I was called today how I'll pay myself, or I can opt out in 45 days. It said if I had more questions on self-reporting to ask an accountant. No, not in my state. No, I just have to do my like quarterly taxes. That's it. My income from my business, since I have a sole member LLC, all of my income just goes right into my regular income tax. When I file my taxes, it just all goes into one big pool. Hey, on Poshmark, you have to keep adding stuff daily. I would recommend just to relist daily. Oh, that makes sense, to keep it fresh. That makes sense. Yes, they do take a percentage. Yeah, that's what I thought. I haven't used it in a while. I always thought Poshmark was only for people who don't like to spend. That makes sense. I feel like people go in there looking for a deal. They don't go in there looking for like, and if they are buying something brand new, they're looking for something brand new that's like 75% less than the actual price, if possible. That's me personally. I would recommend Poshmark for boutique. It's so hard to get daily sales. Try big car sales. Very cheap. Thanks for the recommendations. Thank you. I love your energy and ideas. Thank you. I be trying. I've always been pretty creative. So that's one thing I've always like people ask me like, how did I learn how to do this, that, and the other? Like, why am I good at taking my own pictures? I don't know. I'm just like, I've always been very inventive or creative. Like when I was younger and my mom wanted to get rid of me or wanted me to leave her alone, she'd tell me to go make something. And I would. So in college, I taught myself how to build websites. That's how I learned how to do WordPress or use WordPress. Then I learned how to use Squarespace. I built one Wix website. I hated it. And then Shopify. I used to do hair. I like taught myself how to do hair in college. All types of stuff. So, but thank you. Y'all so sweet. Thank you for all your advice. You're very welcome. How long have you been on YouTube? I've been on YouTube since March of last year. So March. Yeah, this is 2019. So March of last year. Last one is creating a YouTube page. Necessary. No, it's not necessary, but it can definitely be helpful if you produce good quality content and it's content that people are looking for. So YouTube is essentially just like Google, but for videos. So the way people go to Google looking for information, people come to YouTube looking for information visually. So YouTube works best if you create content and make titles that reflect what that content is about. So like a lot of people aren't successful on Google or on YouTube because their content doesn't make sense. It doesn't talk to a specific audience, and the titles don't say exactly what it's about. They make some fancy title and it doesn't make sense. For instance, like if I want to teach you, if my video is teaching you like how to make a website on Shopify, that needs to be the title. Like that's it. How to build a website on Shopify. You got to think how people are typing it out. So definitely not necessary, but it definitely can be helpful. Also, I just talked about this on my Instagram, but YouTube is owned by Google. So Google will always prioritize YouTube videos over other content on another platform because Google owns YouTube, and basically if they get people to click on the YouTube video, they're getting paid. So if the name of your video is something that somebody's talked or has typed into Google, it's like more likely for your video to show up as a search result because Google owns YouTube and they want that click. Thank you. You're welcome. Watch all your videos. Thank you. Just register on Fashion Go. I love Fashion Go. I love the girls there. They are super sweet. Very nice people. The whole team, everybody there. I've been to their office in the Fashion District and everybody's super nice there. Build my brand, but don't want people I know to know it's my brand. I guess I want to see if it sells more if people know who it is. That makes sense. So you kind of want to see how it would go without the people that you know, I guess is what you're saying. That makes sense. Try it out. When I first launched, I assumed that all of my business would come from people I know, and it didn't. The people that I know shared my posts, but they didn't buy anything. But then the people that they shared it to, not all of them, obviously, but those people out of that group, the group of people that they shared it to, those are the people that bought. So yeah, you never know, honestly. So like now, like people ask me a lot, like I was saying, like I'm not popular here at all. So the majority of the orders that I get from my boutique do not come from, aren't local orders. They are orders like from all over the country. What else you guys got? I'm gonna try to go live more often. I have a business coach for the next 2 weeks. We've been working together for 6 weeks, I think there. So last week we talked about going live more often. So I'm trying to go live more often. So yeah, hopefully I'll go live more often. Do you ship internationally? Yeah. So not a lot of my orders come international. I did. So initially when I launched, I had it set to go international or to ship international. And I decided to stop doing international orders because the shipping just threw me off. Like I couldn't figure out how to best do the shipping. However, I just added international shipping back to my site because I was a little bit more confident in the pricing situation. So on my site, I have a flat rate shipping for all US orders. And then for any international order, the price is based off of the weight of the item so that I can make sure that the shipping costs are covered. So basically the international customer can choose what shipping that they want to do or whichever shipping option that they want. But it's going to cost them a lot more than the $6.95 that it's going to cost my US customers. How do you find a coach? I've had three coaches this year, 2 of which I found on social media. One I found through word of mouth. So like someone told me about the other person. The one I found through word of mouth, hated it, wasn't helpful at all. The other 2, one was helpful, but only to like one side of my business. So it wasn't helpful to my boutique business. It was more helpful to my consulting business. And then the coach that I'm working with now, a lot more helpful because he specifically not necessarily works with sales, but we talk a lot more about sales. He's a lot more knowledgeable about sales, but not necessarily like e-commerce sales. He's more knowledgeable on like sales as far as like courses, consulting, things of that nature. But he has a bit of knowledge around like the e-commerce capabilities and all that. So anyway, I would recommend social media. I follow these people. I have like all of these people that I follow, and I just pay attention to what they post over time. I definitely don't like make a split second decision and jump into anybody's course or anything, you know, overnight. I take some time to get to know who they are through what they post, how consistently they post, and like what they talk about in their content, just to see if I can get a good feel for things like that. And so yeah, I found them through social media. Hey Natalie. Hey girl, hey. I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to go live more often. Met you early in the year at Magic. I was the one with the issue at the hotel. Oh, yeah, and we shared an Uber. I remember. Y'all, so I ended up in an Uber. Like I did the shared Uber, and I met this lady, and then we ended up in the same Uber somehow. It was so funny. And then like she knew who I was. it was so random. It was so random. How did you drive people to view your YouTube page when you first started? They came naturally. So I knew that what I talked about was a topic that people were searching for. So like, I decided what topic I wanted to cover, which was boutiques. And then I looked for a gap in in what content everybody else was sharing. So like, the one thing I knew everybody wasn't sharing was where they got their merchandise from. So I was like, cool. First video, I'm going to tell everybody where to get the merchandise from. And that alone drove traffic to my site. So it's all about like providing value through your content and making sure that it's something that people are actually searching for. Seems like I'm spending to get things going, and I haven't made any money. Yeah, I spent so much money before launching, but I also as I was spending, I was making sure I was putting plans in place for how I was going to make the money back. So as far as the merchandise, like how I was going to sell it, how I was going to style it, what I was going to say about it, and things like that. So yeah, gotta have a plan. Hey, sorry, I'm a new subscriber, so I didn't hop off until now to check your vendors list video prior to asking. I'm going to buy your list. Thank you for hard work. Thank you. No problem. I follow you both in Natalie. Thank you. Natalie's like my boutique, my YouTube boutique sister. Did you have to pay a lot of back taxes when you first started? Sorry if I'm asking too many personal questions. So I just shredded a bunch of paper today, and so my taxes right here, this is how much I had to pay in taxes for this year, $2,108. So this is the first year I had to file my business income along with so I was still working last year. So a little bit of last year was business, and the other half was from my job. So based on the numbers that I entered for last year, I owe $2,108. Do you agree with posting content 3 to 4 times a day? Only if it makes sense. When I first launched, I used to post 3 times a day. Now I post like once every 2 days, which I don't necessarily recommend. I should post at least once a day. But if it makes sense for your business, then yes, but I don't think it's necessarily a necessity for you to do that personally. Oh guys, I forgot to say, I'm dropping stuff. I got a new phone this week for work purposes, because not for the boutique, for the consulting purposes. Because my phone be blowing up all the time. My personal phone, and like I hate looking at it now, so I had to separate the two. Is anyone going to Style Mix in Chicago in October? I'm not. I went in April. I'll be honest with you. I did not like it, but it's going to be somebody's cup of tea. It wasn't my cup of tea for my business, but I know it would work for somebody. I felt like a lot of the prices were considerably high in comparison to a lot of the vendors that are like at Magic. And depending on what type of merchandise you sell, it could work definitely for you. If you're looking for like the trendy stuff, you're not going to find it at Style Max. It's just not there. It was not the trendiest of places to be. How often do you buy new merchandise? I literally work across the street from a distributor and can't stop shopping. Thank you. I shop as much as I sell. So if I sell something, then I'm going to buy. Not necessarily sell something, like not if I'm just making like one sale, but like once I have at least recouped the amount that I paid for one order, then I place another order. I need someone to make my clothes, but we just started. Oh, I don't know. I don't get any of my clothes like manufactured, especially for me. They're all like pre-designed, and I just get them from a wholesaler in the fashion district. Okay, thanks for that, because I was curious. You're welcome, girl. I was like, I took my husband with me, and we were both in there like, you ready to go? Yeah, so we weren't there very long at all. I placed one order while I was there from a vendor called Glam LA, I think. And it was cool. Have you ever bought clothes from vendors and didn't like them once you see them all the time? Yes, I sure have. It's a part of the business, honestly, which sucks. It's a risky business. So that's why I always recommend, like, if you can go to a trade show or the fashion district, definitely want to do that, because it'll eliminate a lot of that risk involved. Because you are a bit more familiar with the quality of what they have to offer. But yes, I have had my fair share of things I hated. Like, I had this jumpsuit. I think I sold one, and so I sold one, and the lady that bought it, like, almost, she didn't beg, but she was like, I don't like it. Like, I really want to return it. And I didn't even feel bad. Like, I had a no return policy, but I was like, you know what? You can just send it back. Because I do. Like, it sucked. It was terrible. Shouldn't your social media pages be open? For sure. Your social media pages should not be private if you are a business owner. I'm a new subscriber too. You're married? Oh, yes, I'm married. Yes. Thanks for subscribing. Do you let the models keep the clothes they try on or sell them? I don't have any models. I am my model. So I most of the time I keep one of each item regardless, because you are a literal walking model for your business. So I am my model. I don't have any other ones. So I keep almost one of everything. What was the worst company you have worked with? Ooh. Oh, that's a really good question. Bed Bath & Beyond. Terrible. Hated it. Oh my God. Bed Bath & Beyond was horrible. If you've ever been to Bed Bath & Beyond, it's literally Bed Bath & Beyond. Like, it's all types of beyond. It makes no sense up in there. And like, the shelves go up to Timbuktu. It was a never ending headache. I hated it. I hated everybody that worked there. I hated my bosses. I think they hated me, which is crazy because nobody hates me. And so, no, that's not true. There's a lot of people that have hated me throughout my life. But yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond was the absolute worst. What do you recommend for old inventory? Mark it down if you have not already. I recommend having a markdown strategy. Most people don't. They get hung up on the price that they set it at. They get hung up on wanting to make a certain profit, and they refuse to mark it down, or they like run a temporary promotion, and then it's right back up to the same price. Mark it down, get it out the door, and call it a day. Hilarious. I had a jumpsuit like that. It was sheer in my pants. So I quickly named the swimsuit covered up. I wish I could have renamed this thing something. It was terrible. Like it like sagged in the crotch area, and it like buttoned up the front, and it had a tie at the waist, but it wasn't a tie that went all the way around, which I assumed it was from the picture. So it was like basically you could either tie it in the front or tie it in the back. The tie started at the sides, and you had to decide either the front or the back. It was stupid. Everything about it was dumb. I launched a plus size boutique, and I'm using plus size hashtags. People like the pics, even go to my website, but are not purchasing. Even started taking pics of myself with the clothes. Any suggestions? I would have to see your website to know to make real suggestions, because it could be a number of things. It could be your photos need to be better. It could be your product descriptions need to be better. It could be the flow of your website needs to be better. It could be that your website just doesn't resonate with the audience that you think you're serving. All types of things. So, yeah. How often do you travel to the fashion district? As often as I can afford to. So I went to the fashion district 3 times this year. So if I could, I would go like once a quarter, honestly. I would go to the fashion district over a trade show any day. Because trade shows are so busy. Everybody's there at one time. Everybody's rushing. You can't sit down and like cultivate a relationship really at a trade show. But in the fashion district, it's a lot slower, a lot more calm, and you're able to better build those relationships. Let's check it out in your spare time. Oh. See, what is it? Let me write it down. Hold on. Is this a pen? This is a pen. Oh, I've been writing notes on this piece of paper. Okay. Did you have a lot of support when starting out, by the way? Have you ever shopped in NYC's garbage district? So, never been to the garment district. I wouldn't say I had lots of support. I would say like there was a lot of like congratulations, people shared it, things like that. Not like the people in my life weren't buying. They definitely weren't supporting in that way. There was a lot of like congrats and things of that nature. Love being in the fashion district. I walked the whole block. Man, the industry is crazy cool. I love my home. Yes, I love the fashion district. It's amazing. iPad is dying. Love you so much. Thanks so much. Good night, everyone. Bye, Robin. Why did you start your boutique? I started my boutique because so when I first started my YouTube channel and I was providing information to boutique owners, I did not own a boutique. I was working at a store that was part thrift store and part boutique. So I started providing advice and things to boutique owners, but I didn't actually have my own boutique. I just knew like where to buy the merchandise, how to price it, things like that. So I started sharing this information. Then my job went out of business. And so I was already making money. I started getting paid from YouTube, and I was still providing the advice and everything. And I was like, it would make sense if I launch a boutique, and then I can like share everything that I'm learning and doing along the way. So it's not like, I feel like there's a lot of people that share advice about business, but they don't necessarily show you the ins and out of their own business. So I decided to start one. I mean, I love fashion anyway, so I could have a fashion-related business of my own. Cool. And I get to help people along the way. So that's why I started my boutique. All right, guys, I got to go meet my husband because he says he's hungry, and he's hungry. So I think that means he's going to feed me. Glad I got to see your live on boutique too. Exquisite Boutique. Okay, girl. I'm gonna go follow it. Exquisite Boutique. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for logging in. I'm gonna go live again. I don't know when. I'll post it on here, but I think YouTube tells you guys when I go live too. So that's pretty cool. So be on the lookout. If you're not signed up for my email list, sign up for my email list. I usually send out like a notification of when I'm going to go live and things like that. So, yeah. And if you're not following me on Instagram, come follow me because I'm on there a lot more than I'm on YouTube. So, see you guys soon. Bye.